I'm gonna fall asleep if I sit down too long.
Well, you can sit on my lap then.
So Mark's up to bat.
Guess what? Enough, was it?
That camera is on and recording right now.
All right.
Okay, Mark, come on, brother.
All right. So first thing is, you know, you see them, right? So I thought right away the appearance is excellent. The fit and finish, very clean, and you know, perfection as far as the workmanship. And I like the look of the top horn and that color and that finish and the detail in it. And then you know, the bass horn is just beautiful. So appearance is excellent in my opinion.
Well, he even asked to take the grills off.
Yeah, and I liked them with the grills off. It looks good either way. So also they're not that much bigger than the other Jube, which, you know, I think that, I don't know, I had this preconceived notion these things were huge, but they're standing on a very big pedestal.
Yep.
You took that off, they're almost the same height, maybe a little wider. So not going to be a problem for people putting those in their house. It's got K-horns or even the underground Jubes. So all that good. So the sound. So right away I thought the highs were, you know, more extended, and the lows were more extended. The crossover region was pretty seamless. That was something I noticed. And when you went back and forth between the two, you could tell they cross over at different points. You hear different sounds from different places, and it's hard for me to say too much more than that, because I think what I really want to do is hear lots of different types of music, hear more.
Right.
You know, but you know, with the test tunes you played today, you know, excellent. I'm very happy that I got to come and appreciate being invited, and
I'm glad you're here, brother.
well, thank you. So all good for me so far.
Good. You know, I'll pack you up a pair, no problem.
I want to buy a couple of those the magic face plugs.
You know, it cost me about 50 cents to make, but you know, I gotta make my profit.
I know. I'm just kidding. But I understand that. You know, we'll hear in stereo tomorrow how much maybe those make a difference.
Oh, no,
a little bit more than what we heard today on mono. But
I think that's going to be part of the, because I wanted the same deal that we have with the Cornwall fours and the Hershey fours and the, what's the other speaker? Forte. And so I wanted that same extended wide dispersion plug on. And I'm like, how am I going to do that? And then I'm going through my notes and I'm like, yeah, Paul and I talked about this. And I'm like, okay, I think I know how to do this. And we went through 8 iterations until I think we finally nailed it. And I think that's going to be, to me, just like, you know, the reviewers did with when they went from the Forte 3 to the Forte 4, because it was such a short transition. Forte 3s were in production 3 years ago. And you know what? I mean, we're paying a train for the Jubes right now, and it's not so real.
It's like it's right outside.
And
That was Paul's recording of the train.
yeah, but it when they just couldn't believe that there was that much difference, the reviewers, and you know what? Ultimately, it's like, look, I can tell you all the crap you want to hear. Yeah, you listen to them and then you tell me what you think. And so they said, yeah, you're right. It was a good forward step. They can't distinguish between the crossover points and the imaging and how everything just comes alive. So that's what I wanted with the Jubes. I'm going like, how can we do that with Cornwalls and Fortes and Harris's, not do it for the Jubes? I said, so you know, get off your butt and figure out how to do it. You know, go through the notes. Because I took a lot of notes of Paul. I mean, it was like I was in college again. I told people I got my master's degree from Klipsch University.
I just had one more comment, and you jogged my memory just a little bit to make one more comment, is that listening to the underground Jube versus the new Jube, you can hear, to me, what I hear is a different design. The bass cabinet doesn't sound the same as the old Jube. It sounds like a different design. It sounds different. And it's almost reminiscent of a K-horn to me, like a K-horn on steroids. It's deeper, maybe, I don't want to make it sound negative, but a fuller, tubbier sound that it's very pleasing, but that is a different type of sound from the original bass cabinet, much more full. So engulfing, you know, and so that you sort of jogged my memory to make that comment that, you know, you could hear this is a different bass bed.
It is. When we talked about, Paul and I talked about doing the Jubilee doing it a Bennett system, he said, well, you know, if we want to go lower, obviously it's going to take a different flare rate. And I said, yeah, I mean, because a high pass filter is a high pass filter. And that's what a horn is. It's a high pass filter. So if you want to accentuate 20 hertz and you have a high pass filter of 40 hertz, you just, you know, spinning your wheels. You have to load it with the horn flare rate. And that's why the Jubilee has, I think it's like 19.6 hertz. Paul would probably go 2 more digits beyond that. 19.625 hertz. But in order to make sure it's loaded. And so he knew that we were going to have to do that. And it works.
Who else you have any comments? By the way, this is all voluntary if you don't want to be on video. But so, do you have any impressions?
For a long time.
Well, I kind of talked to Roy a little while ago. If you, yeah. So I kind of had the same impression you did with the bass bed. It's completely different sounding to me, and better. I was surprised it went as deep as it goes, comparing it to the 1502.
Well, if you read the forums, you know, it's like, well, no, we can't do that. You know,
Yeah.
Roy's been eating too many fish scales.
It's good fiber.
Yeah. Really?
Bristle pad.
One thing I'm still caught in the middle of, and I kind of alluded to this afternoon, the underground Jubilee, let me get this right, still had the stick on the cymbal sound that I liked. It had some pieces in whatever EQ or whatever that difference is that I still liked about the old Jubilee. So that would be interesting to see if that could be EQ'd in or what that is. But I also think and masked is the wrong word, but there's so much more energy and I don't know what they call it, spectrum coming out of the new Jubilee that it doesn't cover it up, but there's just so much more to listen to that it's maybe what I'm listening for is not just as noticeable. I think it's still there. You could hear the ring of the drum when they hit it. That was very noticeable. Yeah, that was very cool to be able to hear that subtlety in it.
Well, on Travis's cut, the Eagles, you know, when the acoustic version, you know, where he's doing that, on the Jubilee, you hear the resonant of that higher pitch, because it's actually, he's hitting 2 low and then 1 higher one. And that definition certainly comes across on the new Jube. The old Jube had it, but that little resonance of that higher pitch was missing.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. It was, and so I guess I'm partly saying is the underground Jubilee. What a great speaker! It still stands up.
You got that right.
Just awesome.
You know, me and Jesse were listening to them, and I'm like, he goes, you know that Jubilee. I said, dude, yeah, it's no slouch. It is. I mean, that's basically the first version that Paul and I worked on, and Paul nailed it. You know, I mean, it's, and one of the things I was very, a little apprehensive about was, even if we did all these things that Paul and I talked about, extend the phasing plug, venting the system, was it gonna be such a big enough, difference that people would say, yeah, it sounds okay, you know? Or are they gonna go, no, that's quite the step up? The same thing happened with the Forte 3 and the Forte 4.